What up, folks? It's your pal, Coach Vino, and this is the Glass Half Full podcast where we turn setbacks into comebacks. Let's go.
Yo, everybody goes through setbacks, but don't let these setbacks make you take a step back. Step back from the situation, put your brush down, envision the picture you're faith in, because everybody goes through setbacks.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I am Coach Vino, the people's bartender, your certified coach from the Boogie Down Bronx. I hope everybody is well since the last time we hung out. I'm doing absolutely fantastic, and I could not be happier. So today I want to talk about something that I think is just super important as we move forward trying to pursue our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, as we try to make comebacks in life, to turn setbacks into comebacks, as we talk about in this podcast. And that's the idea that, you've got to stop living in the past. You cannot move forward if you are looking backwards. And it's okay to be nostalgic, when you're feeling good and things are good. But like when you're trying to make moves, you have got to let go of the past, process what the hell's going on there, and start looking forward. Living in the past, it manifests itself in many different ways. And it impacts your present life, and it hinders your ability for personal growth. So today I want to talk about different ways that living in the past might be showing up in your life and how it's affecting you and your ability for personal growth and your ability to pursue new changes in your life. To turn that setback into a comeback, or just to create a new path of success and ultimately fulfillment. One way that shows up is what we probably like to consider as nostalgia, but constantly dwelling on past events. That's not exactly nostalgia. If you find yourself frequently dwelling on past events and reminiscing about the good old days, or constantly replaying memories in your mind, that's an indication that you're living in the past. Now, again, for nostalgic purposes, that's great. But if it gets to the point that you're living there and you tell yourself that that's the only place that you're happy was in the past, then that's when you're living in the past. If your only happy memories are from the past, then you are living in the past. You need to say to yourself, those are the good old days, great, but there is a lot of time ahead of me that I have to make more great memories. And another indicator of living in the past is when you compare the present to the past. When you're continuously comparing your current circumstances or your current relationships or whatever achievements you might have now to how things used to be, then that's a sign that you're living in the past. And this kind of comparison, this leads to dissatisfaction or longing for something that you can no longer have. If you're not able to remain present and you're not able to create new things and new accomplishments and appreciate current relationships and appreciate your current work situation, then you need to make changes now. You can't go back to the past. Make those changes now so you're better able to appreciate them and you're not longing for a time gone by. And if you're not willing to do that, if you're resistant to change, then that is another indication that you might be living in the past. Because if you resist or fear change and you prefer sticking to familiar routines and habits or ways of thinking, that's a pretty clear indication that you're holding on to the past because you're reluctant to embrace these new experiences and opportunities. You have no idea what is waiting for you if you were just to open up and say, you know what, I'm going to allow things to arise. But because you're resistant to change, you want to stay in your little comfort zone, stuck in this past because it's a comfortable place for you, and you can never, ever move forward that way. Another indicator that you're living in the past, and this one's tough, and I get it, but that's having unresolved emotional baggage. When you're walking around with this stuff, holding on to unresolved emotional baggage from the past, such as, being hurt, regrets, traumas, that could prevent you from fully engaging with the present moment. And if you can't engage with the present moment, then you can't move forward in life. So this is where, if you're able to come to the realization that you're holding on to the past because of some sort of emotional situation, then maybe this is where you ask yourself, am I in need of therapy? Am I in need of coaching? Is there a way that I can resolve these things because I'm not able to do it myself? Because let me tell you something, you would be surprised how much emotional baggage, unresolved emotional baggage, can stunt you from being the best version of yourself. And something along the lines of emotional damage or baggage is blaming your past experiences for your present circumstances. When you're continuously blaming these past experiences, these past events, these past individuals that were in your life for your current circumstances, that absolutely prevents you from taking responsibility or accountability for your choices and actions in the present. If you have some unresolved trauma and you've done nothing to address it, then at some point you need to be the one to say, this is on me now. And I get it, not all trauma is the same, and there's some severe anxieties and depressions that can come from our trauma. But you still owe it to yourself. You don't owe it to anybody else. You owe it to yourself to try to resolve this trauma the best you can. And this trauma can show itself in many different ways. It could be a relationship with someone that was very, very powerful and very detrimental to your mental health, emotional health, or it could be something where someone did something to you, like stole money from you or betrayed your trust, or maybe you got fired from a job, or you had a bad job experience, or just something that didn't work out in the past. And so you take it and you say to yourself, I'm going to focus on this, and this is going to be the way things are going to be for the future. No. Not every circumstance is the same. If you had a bad experience in the past, doesn't mean you're going to have another bad experience in the future. You have to have confidence in yourself that these experiences that you had have made you a smarter person and a more aware person, and you'll be able to better protect yourself against these things while still pursuing the best version of yourself, still pursuing the change and the dreams and the comebacks that you want to pursue in life. Knowledge becomes wisdom. When you experience something, you know it happened, and now you have the wisdom to not let it happen again. That's how you have to look at these situations, at least at the best of your ability. Now, similarly to maybe the first 2 points, is the idea of idolizing the past. When you idolize or romanticize the past, and you view it through rose-colored glasses, and you ignore the challenges or the shortcomings that you experienced at that time, you actually create an unrealistic expectation. And it prevents you from living fully in the moment, the present moment. I'm telling you right now, when you look back on life, or you look back on certain relationships or moments in life, and you think to yourself, God, those are the best times of my life, that might be true. But don't forget about the hardships that you experienced at those times, because life is constantly throwing hardships at you. So to assume that that's the best time of your life is one thing, but to assume that time was perfect, nah, it wasn't, trust me. So whatever you do going forward, it might have some hardships as well. But that doesn't mean that they can't be the best part of your life. What do they say? May the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. That's a legit thing. We can make the best of our lives going forward. We don't even know yet. But if you're stuck in the past, thinking the past was the best time of your life, you're never going to want to move forward. And all of this ultimately is about having difficulty letting go. And this letting go could mean anything from your memories, to just even like to things like physical possessions. So when you have difficulty letting go of things like physical possessions or relationships or identities associated with the past, those will all be signs of living in the past. Holding on to these attachments, they prevent you from embracing new experiences and opportunities that might come your way. If you insist on holding on to these ideas and these physical objects or these people, because you feel like those are the best times or that's the only time that you feel happy, then you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to open up to new ideas, new opportunities, and new experiences that would come your way if you just let go. You do not want to lose joy in the present time because you're constantly longing for things and how they used to be. That is a clear indication that you're living in the past. So recognizing these signs that I just shared with you, they're really the first step to letting go of the past and embracing the present moment with an openness, an acceptance, and an enthusiasm for the present and for what the future may hold. Don't deny yourself the possibilities. It's okay to be nostalgic. It's okay to look back on the past and say to yourself, wow, those were good times, or I'm really proud of those moments. But don't deny yourself the potential for even bigger, better, and greater things. I can easily look back at the late 90s and say, oh man, the music of that time was amazing. And I always had the time of my life going out clubbing with my buddies. And it was just such a dope time. But look, that's the good shit that happened in my life. But if I was to really sit down and think about it, there was a lot of difficult things going on in my life as well. So it was never perfect. But it was an opportunity for me to enjoy myself, and I took that opportunity. So now what I need to do is take this opportunity and future opportunities to enjoy myself, knowing that challenges will continue to present themselves. And that's just what it is. Nothing I can do about that. But I will say I am better prepared to manage these challenges because of the challenges of my past. And that's the same for you. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I think it's just really important as we move forward in life, as we, get back on our feet, or if we just pursue new things, is just to go into it with a lot of hope and inspiration that great things are going to continue to happen in life. And that you don't have to dwell in the past and you don't have to live in the past. Those are great. The past is, if it had a good past, if you have great moments, awesome. Cherish them. But don't stay there. Don't stay there. All right, folks. If you or someone you know would like to work with Coach Vino, you can visit my website, CoachVinoLLC.com. Or if you just want to hang out with me on social media, you can find me anywhere at Coach Vino LLC. And remember, folks, if nobody else tells you, Coach Vino appreciates you.
I find it hard to reveal these thoughts and express what I'm feeling in a hip-hop form. But I was born to succeed, so as long as I breathe, ain't nobody on this earth gonna crush my dreams. Yo, this might be the end of the verse, but this is just the start of a new beginning. Word.